Welcome back, everybody. Well, Alina, Vale, and Leif, you had been in the other room questioning the man that Leif had knocked unconscious during the fight using, I think the last charge of Alina's Detect Thoughts.
Let me double check on that. I might have one more.
As he had used quite a few with
I think I get up
Brienne.
to 5. I'd use 3 with her, but I'm confirming right now. We'll just say yeah, because we haven't hit dawn, and I think I'd already rolled and gotten one back. Because I didn't know we were going to be attacked in our sleep.
How rude.
All right. And during this time, Raelynn and Nyra, you've kind of been watching over this other man because Vale had suggested that you split them off and kind of corroborate their stories against one another. However, the other group haven't really got a ton of information out of the guy before Alina asked a question that he could not answer and died in front of you. This man is sitting at the edge, like the very end of the bed where Alina and Vale were sleeping. I think now that everything is sort of settled down, you guys can hear that, like, downstairs. You can hear, like, the wind from below, like as if maybe there was a window in the lower level that was left open, or perhaps that's how they entered or something. But you do hear just that background noise that wasn't there before when you guys went to sleep. He's cooperating. He's just kind of sitting there, and I think his eyes going like back and forth between the two of you, almost expectantly.
I think Raelynn's standing kind of not over him, but like intimidatingly, with her sword at her side, and she's holding on to her side that's still bleeding. Her like white PJs are just covered in the blood of the guy she stabbed in the stomach. And she's just gonna look at him and just say, "What's your name?"
He's going to take a moment before he answers, and you can see that his eyes were drawn to where you were holding your wound, and it kind of trails up to all of the other blood spatters that are on you. You can call me Zeke, but I guess if I don't want to get caught in a lie, full name Zaketsu.
What's your story? Tell me why I shouldn't call the guards on you this moment.
Well, you probably shouldn't call the guards on me because you guys have things that you shouldn't have.
Such as?
Your friend in the other room has something that we want. Wearing it so proudly around his neck, too. That's bold, kind of respect it.
And why do you want it?
Well, I don't want it anymore, to be honest.
But you did.
Well, I worked for people who didn't really give me a choice. I saw an opportunity to free myself of that.
Is that what this was? And she like gestures at making a collar.
Yes. It seems that when you get powerful enough but around the wrong people, they seek to control that power.
Raelynn will like look at Nyra if there's anything she wants to say, like just jump on in.
And Nyra uses one of her divine sparks to heal you.
Okay.
You're hurting. She's like, but while she like reaches over to touch you, she's just like, how does that work?
How does what work?
She'll mimic Raelynn.
Your color.
Well, I don't exactly know the process behind it. I feel like they probably wouldn't want me to know that sort of thing. But essentially, they seem to be able to activate it and deactivate it at certain times so that they can do exactly the type of magic they want me to do at any given moment. And then they don't have to worry about me doing anything when they don't want me to.
So it cuts you off from your magic?
It prevents me from acting against their will. And most often that seems to include speaking.
How are you able to do that then? And she'll like point out the door. You need to speak for that, don't you?
They had ordered me to do something else and I chose not to. That spell was meant for another person.
My friend.
Yes.
And why turn on these people? Just for your freedom? How did you expect to leave?
Well, I had actually hoped that one of the smaller ones had stuck around so I could force them to help me leave, but it seems that they're all gone.
Do you plan to go back to these people?
Oh, hell no. But
What's your plan?
Well, I don't exactly have one. I wasn't expecting to be given such a good opportunity tonight.
You almost didn't have it.
It's true. I could have just killed you all instead. That would have been a shame.
Raelynn just like chuffs at that. She's still raging.
Can I please? And he kind of holds out his hand towards this like particularly drenched piece of fabric on Raylan's clothing with where the blood is like particularly soaked.
She'll take a step back if he puts his hand up. What?
I could clean that up in like half a second.
I'm fine. Does it bother you?
No, but I assumed that you guys would want to clean up all this mess before the train stops in the morning.
I'd prefer if you did that to the cart versus me.
Fair enough. Well, I guess when your friends are done their interrogation, I can help you clean up.
Do we hear any sound coming from the other room?
I think with like the background train noise, you do hear talking. There's nothing that sounds concerning at all until maybe like a minute or two after this. The man doesn't die particularly loudly. We lost Megan. What do you guys do after you see this happen? Vael and Alina and Leif.
You mean after the guy?
Guys.
Well, Vael had already reacted to that spell going off, but I think now he's like, well, we do have another unconscious body in the hallway. We want to continue to ask questions.
Did we leave that one unconscious, or did we like...
No, he was unconscious and wrapped in a spell. So
Oh, that one.
yeah.
Now I'm following.
Oh, might as well. Gonna turn over these people's pockets, and it sounds like there's some sound coming from downstairs. Somebody should take a look at that.
If there's more trouble down there, you want to make sure you loop us all in.
You'll know.
Good.
I think I've got one more use for my necklace.
All right. Well, let's hope we can make good use of it then. And Vael will grab this guy and drag him into the same room they were just in. Prop him up like next to the dead body, like the guy who just died. You're back.
Hey, there she is.
My internet, jeez.
Yay.
Do you want me to continue, or do you want to jump back to Raelynn?
I don't know what you just did, so you continue.
I was mostly asking Vixx, but
Go ahead and continue.
yeah, I'll just prop him up next to the other guy and kind of smack him awake a little bit.
Yeah, you see that this person appears to be like half elf. You can tell by the fact that his ears aren't quite as long or as pointed. Kind of messy black hair and bright blue eyes. He kind of wakes with he's like groggy at first, and then he goes, ah, and like takes in the situation around him, and then just hangs his head.
Yeah, you're pretty fucked. Not gonna lie to you. But who knows? Maybe there's a chance you make it out of this alive, unlike this guy who didn't give us all the answers we wanted.
Well, I can't promise that.
I'll kick in Detect Thoughts now.
Do you have any charges left?
I think I have one charge left.
Okay. All right. What's being asked of him?
What are we still in the dark about here, Dreamy? We still don't know if they were the ones that attacked the caravan, right?
Yeah, but we know that Chistana hired the Shattered Veil.
Right.
And asking about Chistana is what triggered the psychic magic.
Right, okay.
So you can ask about the caravan.
Did you attack a caravan at Lake... Oh, I don't have my map open.
I think it's
the one
Ailside
thing I don't
Lake.
have.
Ailside Lake.
Ailside Lake, yeah.
Alina hears, why the fuck would we do that? But he's just like glaring at Vael with a little scowl. Why do you want to know that?
I'm sorry. Am I the person lined up amongst my dead allies who just threatened my life for some benefactor who paid you to do so? Would you like to die or would you like to talk?
Neither?
Neither's not on the table, my friend. As he says that, he just starts running a current down his fingers, visibly.
Please. And then, Alina, you hear...
I want him to make a wisdom saving throw so I can go deeper.
Okay. I don't have his thing open. Let's see. I feel like that's, even if I add a modifier to that, that's not gonna cut
You'd
it.
have to have a +5.
And he doesn't. Okay. You're pressing deeper.
Mm-hmm.
You get a feeling of pain and feeling scared, and you hear him like think in his mind about the fact that they've done worse than that. And he's almost laughing off Vale's attempt to intimidate. And you get just these horrific sort of glimpses of his past, of just like this dark room where he's been chained up. And just his body just looks like completely almost withered away. You get the impression that he's like been beat within an inch of his life, and he just goes, "Go ahead and do it then."
So those chains, were that punishment, or was that part of the organization you're a part of?
You hear this fucking witch inside his head.
Of course.
You said, was that part of a punishment or part of the organization you were with? You get the like mental images of you can see very clearly that in these like glimpses, he's very young at the time. It almost feels like perhaps like an initiation of sorts before the exact same thing happens to him as the other guy that you just questioned.
Shit.
Huh. Well, at least we know it's the organization that is casting that spell, not just Anna, or both, who knows. We've learned something. Not nothing.
There were a lot of chains and being tied up in punishment, and it seemed to be as part of an initiation.
Conditioning them to withstand capture, torture, all that sort of thing. I've unfortunately seen it before. This seems bigger, though. More organized.
Vixx, we haven't heard about the Shattered Veil before tonight, have we?
Nope. It was new to you.
Well, add that to the list of what to research once we get to Iriath.
No kidding. If we can get a location, that would be ideal.
Or can you
I
spend
will make a note. The train's going south. And you know they were hired from someone who's north.
Yeah.
In the other room. You could see that this guy is just kind of after the initial questioning and Raelynn's sort of intimidating stance over him, and you can see that he just sort of sees that you guys aren't exactly going to cause him any immediate harm, and he sort of just kind of relaxes a little bit, his posture leaning back with two hands on the bed, kind of looking between you two. At all?
No, I have a few more questions if you don't mind. The attack at Ail's Eye Lake. Do you know any of the details of that? Obviously, I assume they were after my friend.
He tilts his head a little bit in confusion. I'm sorry, but I don't exactly know what you're talking about, though. And it looks like he's trying to weigh his words carefully as he thinks about what to say. Some of the... Nope, that I can't say that. Some of the higher ups, he seems to like be considering his words, and then he goes, seems fine. I've been getting a little bit out of sorts and desperate as of late. Normally, our clientele is out of less public stature, less notoriety, but still with a lot of coin. And there's been an increase in people who are more well known who need our services. So perhaps someone that I know is behind whatever it is that you're talking about, but I don't have the specific details.
You say you're hired by people with lots of money. Was anyone else hit tonight? The Chancellor, perhaps? Anyone of importance did you attack?
I have to be very careful with what I say to you. I just hope you know that it's not because I don't want to share what I
Can you
know.
write it down?
I think that doesn't go with the spirit of this particular reason that I can't share with you. But
Raelynn's just gonna look at Nyra like, is he telling the truth?
Oh yeah, she's keeping an eye on him.
give me an
You're my lie
insight check.
detector.
It's what she's here for. In the tower? Yes.
You can, do that in the tower. And you have advantage now. You mostly read from him like I think it's almost reminiscent to you of people being careful about what they told you about Kaylin when you would ask about them. And like they're not trying to lie, but they're trying to be careful for some reason. You don't detect any sort of intent to pull one over on you. But perhaps there's something behind why he's being so cautious. Yeah, you mostly detect caution in him.
Nyra will look back at you and say, there are no shadows here, but he is very careful for some reason.
Well, that reason being I want to stay alive. You know how much that would suck to get free and then immediately be a little bit too free of my body forever.
You are worried if you say certain things, they'll kill you, but not worried that if you escape from them, they won't kill you?
Well, at least I have a chance to get away, right?
Is there a range in which they can find you?
That's a very good question. I suppose it's possible that I could be running for the rest of my life, but I do know magic that could help against that. Just have to learn it.
What kind of magic do you do?
Oh, all sorts. I was just trying to help you clean up. I did that fine work in the hallway. I have offensive, defensive. I can make myself a little bit more difficult to grasp.
So a range of things.
Yes, anything that they found useful.
And is it all tinted with that blue magic? I've never seen that.
Well, mine is. But though they've really been restrictive on what they've taught us, they at least didn't dissuade us from having our own flavor of magic. Though I think that might be because it's easier for them to recognize who did what. I guess
So
it's my chosen way of casting my magic.
So they taught you magic like the academy does?
I wouldn't know exactly how they teach at the academy, but I guess in that very simple sense, yes.
Learned, not innate.
I think here you do sense some deception in him, and he goes, yeah.
The truth always comes to the light.
Oh, what about you? Do I get to grill you too?
You
Does
don't have to. Israel, of course.
It's not a widely worshipped god around these parts. I think at that comment, yeah, there's 3. You guys are probably done with, you only got to ask them both a couple of questions before they succumbed to magic, so.
Do you want to resolve Leif rolling the bodies and checking downstairs first, though, since he was doing that at the same time?
I didn't even hear that.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. You're rolling the bodies downstairs?
No, I'm checking them over and seeing if they've got anything in their pockets and in their teeth, anything like that, and then seeing what that noise downstairs is about and if there's any more trouble.
You don't hear, you don't see any of the capsules in their mouth. You don't see anything else that looks a little bit suspicious. When you go over their bodies, you don't find a whole lot aside from weapons, and you find about 3 vials of poison on one of them. And then in a blue substance in a similar sort of poison vial that doesn't seem familiar to you. And both of the 2 larger guys were left there. So on the 2 that seem to be in control of the situation more or less, you find they each have 1 more of those little blue orbs that they had chucked. And then make an investigation check in the tower. On the 2 that you take those little orb contraptions off of, you see at the back of their neck, it looks like it looks similar to the eye symbol that you guys saw in Mournhold, but it's like cracked in half. It's like a little tattoo, and it's almost like the eye broken.
I'm gonna sketch that out.
Yeah.
I think this is their symbol. Need to be on the lookout for this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you go downstairs to check on the noise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you go down, you find that one of the latches on the window has been like undone. It's not like the window's fully open, but it's enough that it's letting that air like pass through and causing a lot of noise in this part of the cabin.
Well, if there doesn't seem to be anybody else down here or any immediate other threat, I'll close that, lock it back up, and check the other windows to make sure they're secured and all that good stuff.
You find that another one of them is it's unlocked but hasn't been unlatched. And you do note that that first one that you went by, it was like near where the table was, and some of the stuff is kind of like knocked over on the table.
Makes sense.
And then, yeah, was there anything else that Leif is interested in?
Yeah, if there's nothing to note down here, just make that noise stop, and I'll go back upstairs, I suppose.
Yeah, and when Vail's done with their line of questioning for now, he will go and knock at the other door gently.
I don't think we even closed the door. I think we left it open.
Fair enough. He's still just going to do that and remain in the corridor.
She'll nod you in.
The guy kind of like looks at you.
He
Raelynn will go. Look to Nyra and be like, "You okay if I leave?" Okay.
She just produces flames and then goes.
Yeah, when Raelynn comes out to the corridor, he just very quietly kind of whispers in her ear, they all had mind magic on them that killed them when they said too much. You might want to be aware of that. If you think he's trustworthy, maybe Nyra can dispel it.
I think from what he's told us, he wasn't doing this out of his own volition, or at least he started, but then changed his mind. I think we can trust him for now.
Tentatively.
I'll tell her. You're welcome to come and ask any questions if you haven't got anything from anyone else, but...
You didn't get a lot, but I can sit in. That's fine.
Okay. She'll, like, go to Nyra, and she'll just whisper in Nyra, like, watch what you're asking. Oh, she also would have told Vail that we understand that he's kind of like been talking weird and very careful with his words, so we kind of picked up on that.
All right. Well, Vail's gonna go in then and just kind of he'll look for his tunic and like get properly dressed at this point.
I think he like passes you something that was on the bed.
But then he'll just kind of lean against the wall and observe for now.
Nyra has prepared her tea that she was. She warmed up some water from the sink by herself. Instant tea maker on the go. I am curious. You do not look like you are from here. And she like motions to the clothing.
Here being...
Well, I don't think I've seen anyone from the train station to where we're going wearing such clothes.
That's fair. suppose that there aren't a whole lot of people who dress like us. Or me.
Can
Sorry,
you
was there
say?
a question?
Can you say where you were from? Where you work out of?
Where I work out of.
If that's correct.
Well, the way that I dress isn't from that. If you hadn't noticed, we're dressed a little bit differently. And I believe they stole their fashion from different regions. But no. That would put me at great risk and a lot of danger if I were to tell you exactly where. Not that I don't want to. You guys...
Just to clarify, he's saying he can't tell us where they work out of.
Yes. But that is closer from not there.
So where are you from then?
Probably a city you've never heard of off the coast of Avosia.
Do I know anything about the place he just mentioned?
That's where whatchamacallit's from.
Kala.
Yeah, I was gonna say the goat. But yeah, Kala.
Right. The group that wants to
Symbols
set
of-
the-
And that's the
I think.
Hello, maybe. Well, fortunately, it was not like a huge revelation or anything. It just kind of summarizing what you guys know about Avosia, which is that they don't want to be part of Savorin, and they've been keeping many people out of the center regions for quite some time. And this guy seems to be from there.
And I suppose you can't tell us anything about your little employment situation.
No, they have that very restricted. They're thorough.
If we were to dispel whatever magic's on your head, would you be willing to?
You have the capability.
We have a possibility.
I'm not sure I like the sound of that. What are you getting at?
Well, dispel magic doesn't always work perfectly.
Okay, I thought you were trying to do some sort of experimentation. You just mean that you might not be strong enough.
Well, it's not me. Unfortunately, I can disrupt a spell that's in transit, but not one that's taken root.
I see.
Nyra, is
can.
that something you have ready?
Yes. It would be one chance tonight.
Are you just going to cast a spell magic as is?
I think I'm gonna cast detect magic first to see if I can get a better idea of what's happening to him.
Okay.
Mark that.
Let's see. Visible. You learn its school of magic and if it's magical, right?
Yep. And if they're, hold on. Oh, identify would tell me the exact spell affecting a creature, and I don't have that. But you do?
Yeah. I suspect we're not getting much more sleep on the train. Or do we know the schedule, Vixx? Like, do we know how much time we have?
It stops at 6 a.m. in the capital, but you have leeway of like a couple of hours where they serve breakfast after that.
But it is
Which
already
you
past midnight.
guys... Somebody has a breakfast date, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Chancellor.
So I suspect I'm not getting more sleep tonight, so I will take 10 minutes and work on the ritual for it.
And detect magic, you get that it's an enchantment spell, and you definitely see
You have magic items on him.
you see also like an aura coming from like the stash that's around his waist, and that one is abjuration magic.
You may want to take that off when we try this. And she'll point to his sash.
Oh, you guys are just all right. And he's going to like take off the sash, and he puts it on the bed beside him, and he leans back, and he's like, normally and I'm in these circumstances more willingly.
Oh, if you prove we can trust you, then you might find yourself in better circumstances.
He thinks about that for a second, and he goes, "You are an interesting bunch, aren't you?"
No idea what you mean.
Do you mind if I ask questions of my own?
You
Not
can
at all.
ask.
Yeah, not promising any answers at the moment.
I see. I suppose that is fair. That I did break into your private quarters in a train, though I am also the reason that they slapped a collar on my neck and dragged me out here, so... Are you actually from here? I heard about some of the things that went on in Warnhold, and he kind of looks at Vale's little amulet thing, or where it was. Now that he's dressed, it's not visible.
Yeah, the heart glass would be tucked into his shirt, just below his belly button there.
So it kind of looks like he flicks a glance over you, even though it's not really intentional.
Guess that depends on how you mean that. As far as I know, first place I stepped into this plane from was quite nearby.
He looks so confused. Well, I was expecting another country, but another plane. That would explain some of the odd behavior. He looks over at Raelynn and Nyra.
Yeah. Well, don't go telling anyone. You know, Vaelin's supposed to remain missing for now.
Rolls her eyes.
Well, I just meant that not a lot of people would have guts to cross certain people here and stick around.
Well, we
And,
managed to get everything we wanted, and her consequences for it have failed miserably.
Oh, they'll keep coming for you. And me, probably.
I get bored
But-
easily.
You first, because I actually get paid for that.
Will you go back to Vosia? If they succeed? the capital?
I don't have much of a home there anymore. No, I was thinking set sail, see a little bit more of the world. There's a lot of cool shit out there that doesn't get tied up in all of... Well, I guess all of this shit is cool too, and he kind of looks around at the train, but less fun for me. I'm
Are
not
you
going to spend my
satisfied?
life hunting you if that's what you're worried about.
I'm not.
I like you.
He's telling the truth.
Even in interrogations, Nyra's always trying for that
Matchmaking mode.
matchmaking.
Listen, someday it'll work.
You gotta take those opportunities as they come up.
Too good not to.
So do I get names from all of you, or? Oh, I guess I didn't give you guys mine. My name is Zeke.
Oh yeah, you said his actual name, but I didn't catch it.
Ketsu?
Ketsu?
Zeketsu?
Zeketsu.
Well, you can call me Lagos for now. I think we lost your mic now, Vixx. We're having all the tech problems tonight.
Oh.
There,
Ooh.
you're back, sort of.
No?
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. You're good.
Yeah. Similar to Dreamy, I need a new cord for my mic. Right, well, Lagos for now it is then.
Okay, now hold still. I'm going to identify the spell on you.
And that just gives you like...
Gives me exactly the magical effect on him.
Does it tell you the conditions and stuff as well?
Yep.
Or just the spell?
Like it identifies the whole thing. That's the purpose of the spell. Properties, how to use them, whether it requires attunement, how many charges, whether any ongoing spells are affecting, etc., etc. Yeah.
If you instead touch a creature throughout the casting, you learn what spells, if any, are currently affecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your suspicions about the spell are correct. Is under the Gias spell. And if you're not familiar with it, remove curse, greater restoration, wish would be how you end that spell.
Oh,
Oh,
it can't just be dispelled.
Nope.
I have remove curse.
Perfect.
So, which is even better. I don't have to roll.
Yeah, that is better. Well, Vale shares everything he learns about the spell with Nyra.
Nasty spell.
Very dangerous.
Yeah, I don't quite like it. Especially when they don't tell me all of the conditions of it.
If we remove this Suketsu, you swear to tell us what you know.
You have my word.
And I probably would have removed it anyway. It's not a very nice spell. And she'll just go up and her hand catches on fire a little. Not enough to burn him, but it feels really warm. And she will touch the back of his neck and say a little prayer to Israel and cast remove curse.
He feels kind of cool to the touch to you, which is unexpected. Like you feel it very like contrasting to your you're used to like laying your hands on people to cast your magic, and this you feel very and it seems like your magic affects him more than he's like a little bit startled almost by your warmth. Oh, I was expecting to have to get rid of this myself. I don't know how to repay all of you. Thought I was just gonna make some smart-ass quips and be on my way.
Well, you did make a
some answers
promise.
would suffice.
I suppose that's fair. Just feels like it's not exactly even on the scale, because I kind of want to tell you. Well, he kind of goes through the order of which you guys had been asking him questions that he couldn't outright answer. He looks over at Raelynn first and goes, yeah, I don't know exactly what is with the caravan. I did hear something about that, but it was in passing with another mage of my skill that wasn't assigned to me. I do think that we were hired to do something like that. By who, I don't know. But like I said, people have been getting very desperate lately. I don't know what's behind the desperation. Obviously, there's war and a change of seats coming up, and people need all the help that they can get. But we're kept very compartmentalized. It's not like we have group meetings where we know everything that everyone's doing at all times.
Understood.
Looks over at Nyra. Our work is mostly done out of Mournhold, but we also have a chapter in Zardan. Those two have been getting very close with each other as of late. Can't remember if Vael asked him anything in particular that...
He didn't ask, he sort of... He was asking if he could talk about...
if he could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So who hired you for this job then?
Well, I'm unfortunately just a little runt that they like to send off and do their work, and they give me a handler, and he kind of gestures to one of the blood-splattered men on the floor. And they're mostly given the details, but I could take a guess based on some rumors that I heard about a party recently. Was that all of you? I won't tell.
I think you know the answer.
Yeah.
That's very bold.
And she has never used, that you're aware of, your organization's services before?
She always struck me as a woman who liked to take care of things herself. Perhaps bred thin. But no, I've never known her to. Mostly we are hired by greedy sultans and people who are trying to expand outside of Savarn, even though we are all very self-contained here. People who want immediate power and money and less so long game things.
Would we find the chapters of your organization?
Well, I suppose I could tell you. But then what are you going to do? And how can I trust that they're not going to pry it out of you, that I was the one who told you?
Well, I mean, he gestures around at the room.
I guess I've come this far in my betrayal.
I mean, yeah, after all, they're already going to be after you, and if we are successful in removing something so dangerous from this land, then, well, their pursuit ends.
They're not easy to find. They're not easy to get into. There's a lot of people like me concealing it on a regular basis. For some of us, that's our entire job. But, he is like, does somebody have a paper or something to write with?
If they don't have anything, Raelynn will go get her journal and come back with it. She's gonna come back with a piece of paper she has. She's not letting him look at anything that she's written down.
Can I say that if you go to your room to get your journal, I was gonna go get Alina's outfit till I remembered that you're all in their room. So while all of this conversation is happening, first Alina is going to go, oh, I really hope she doesn't get mad, and is going to grab one of Raylan's shirts and pairs of pants and stick them on so she's not walking around in a sheet. And then is going to start using prestidigitation and try to fix and reorganize the room. And if she can get through the room in that time, start working out into the hallway. We'll just like drag the bodies into a pile and then start like fixing things. So you walk in and she's in your clothes and she's like, oh, hi.
Do you plan to come to the other room?
I didn't want to crowd in. Thought I'd help out in here. I hope you don't mind.
Not at all. You look good. Let's go.
You did have quite a bit of time to do that because Nyra, Raelynn, and Leif took these guys in here out pretty quickly, and then the last one like left. So there was nothing to clean up from him. But yeah, you're able to kind of get everything neatly sorted when Raelynn comes and interrupts your, like, getting yourself more less exposed. And when you come back into this room and you give him this paper, he starts sketching out what looks like more like a central, like, localized map. And you're kind of noting that there's like landmarks that he's making marks of. He's drawing somewhere you've seen before, actually. You see the hand fountain in Mournhold. And he seems to be drawing like spaces around that, all spaces that you're like familiar with. And he goes, if you can spot them at the right time entering this area, usually in the dead of night, there is a place underneath this fountain in Mournhold, though getting into the Glimmerfall ward, I guess you guys are familiar with.
We have a way in.
I suspect that there is a powerful patron there that has allowed for us to use this space. And it is quite large, and when you enter in, you are going to be pretty much bottlenecked.
Good to know.
Sketch out another little place. This one seems to be like a market square. And in the middle of this market square, you note that there's like a communal garden that he's written over top of. I'm pretty sure that it's the stone here, and he points to the stone that's walling in the garden, and the stone here, and he points to the stone that's forming the hand in the fountain that has been enchanted in some way to create an entrance of sorts. So if you go the route of getting rid of that magic, which it seems like you're quite capable of, then perhaps you have a shot. However, at least in Zardan, you will note that when you try to get close to it, it'll feel very disorienting if you're not meant to be there. You'll forget why you're there until you leave, and then you go back, and then you'll forget why you're there again.
And is Zardan where, because you were taken young? Yes.
Yes.
Is
The
that where?
capital.
Is that where they train children?
Well, it depends on what you mean by that. It was where I was trained.
If we are to do anything, and she looks at Vael, because he'd be the one who want to do something.
Gathering side quests, this guy, for you guys to see on the way out.
Yep. I would want to be careful of any children that may be there.
Well, obviously I'm not about to start setting fire to the children's barracks, but
They will try to harm you.
the children.
Yes.
That's what they are trained to do.
They know that it's very difficult for someone who is so noble like all of you to want to harm a child, and so they're not above using that to their advantage.
Could you not get us in?
You want me to go back there?
Sure, why not?
Oh, I could list many reasons why not. But are you asking me to hang around with you then?
She will look at the group because she's not making this decision herself.
You're going to protect me.
I wouldn't go that far.
Based on some of what you said, I got the impression you didn't need protecting.
It's probably true. Though it's not like I'm the most skilled mage. Most skilled mage wouldn't find their spell book filled with things that only other people are interested in them having, and a collar around their neck.
Skilled mages tend to get exploited.
He kind of squints his eyes at Alina. There's some sort of like a look of intrigue, I think. Right. Well, what's the verdict then?
Well, I think I'm okay with just handing you your life back and letting you decide what you'd like to do with it. Unless there's any objections. Of course, if you'd like to hang around with us, you should know you'll be making more enemies.
You guys going to be in the city for some time?
Few days.
I'll find you in a few days then. Let you know. It's the least I could do.
You can sleep on the couch tonight till we get to the capital.
Will I be questioned on my way out of here? Like, should I be finding an alternate route?
I don't recall them having like any like security on the way out, although I don't know what it's like in the capital, so.
Yep. There didn't seem to be any sort of security on the way out.
Just flip out with the crowd, time it right.
Do you happen to have anything less conspicuous that I could perhaps throw over this? And he kind of gestures to his like very stylized bright blue clothing.
Vael kind of looks at the others because he doesn't have anything inconspicuous.
I know, I was like, we have a guy that's twice his size and we have Vael. Like, the
Like we have a kill.
Alina's in my clothes, so I can't offer him my clothes.
I'm sure we could put something together.
Don't put yourselves out too much. I will do what I can. You're already offering me a lot. He's going to stand cautiously. And it's like kind of like he's testing if he can move through you all now.
I'll walk you down because I assume Leif is still down there. And if Leif sees a random guy, he might hit him. I don't know.
Leif would have been able to come back up by now, for sure.
Vael, should we have Chinook watch him tonight? And what's left of it?
No, Chinook's been Chinook. Maybe it's Nyra, but I think that he's been honest with us. I think we can trust him. Of course, if he does pull anything, I'll explode his chest with lightning like I did that other guy.
First.
All right. You guys are gonna try to sleep with the little amount of time left, or you're up now?
Vail's up. I'll take a short rest, but he'll remain conscious and kind of take some notes, do some reading, prepare himself for what's coming, replenish one of his spell slots with his sorcery points, and then restore his sorcery points with a short rest.
I think you do note that this guy does clean up the mess that was in the hallway before he heads downstairs.
Right. We also have to throw all the body parts out the window.
A body part. Yeesh.
Not all of them are in one piece.
And if they get stuck, you gotta fold them and
How long till sunrise?
I would say about sunrise. That would probably be around in winter 6, so about 5 hours, maybe 4.5.
Yeah, I'll try and go back to sleep then.
Probably give him her other set of clothes. Now that I think about it, she has looser pants and a looser, just top. She'll give it to him to wear.
I'll swap back as soon as I can get back into my room and give you your clothes back.
I'm writing everything in my journal.
All right. Who does the throwing of the bodies out the window?
Wonder.
Really do it since Leif seems so enthusiastic. I'll let him do it.
Do that. You see these two. It's almost like two handles that have been affixed to the side of the train that you've never seen on the outside of the train before. When you're tossing it to make sure that it doesn't hit another car down that way. And when you do that, you see, these metal contraptions just affixed to the side. And they seem not like as if there were hand width apart. It's almost like there is one up here, and then directly below it, there's another one. Almost like perhaps it was used to hold on and stand on. They look kind of... You don't know if it's intentional or if this is just the kind of metal that they use around here, but they look like they were designed to match the outside of the train.
Do they seem like I can remove them?
With your reach, yeah, I think you could definitely remove them. It takes a little bit of like finagling, like you don't know exactly how they come up. You're trying to pull off at first, but then I think you kind of notice that it turns a little bit, and you turn it all the way to one side, and you're able to, and it just like comes free, and you almost let go of it, and you're able to prepare yourself a little bit better for the second one. And yeah, it's just like kind of flat on the outside, and you notice that they kind of when you're like hoisting them up through the window, it's almost like they want to pull back onto the side of the train. Very magnetic.
Neat. I'm sure I'll figure out some way to use these.
Oh, I'm sure I'll regret giving these to you. Is writing down the stuff that she learned. Alina is going back to bed. Vael is awake now. Nyra, you're going back to bed. Leif, are you going back to bed, or are you just awake now too? David.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay up as well. I'm trying to fix the video thing.
Oh, fair enough. So it's still being problematic.
Yeah.
It went all stuttery again.
Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. Vael, what are you doing with the rest of your time then?
Once the bodies are gone and the blood's all cleaned up and everything, yeah, he'll take a little bit of a break, rest up, and then probably just work on reading the Draconic Primary as.
Yeah, do your roll for how that goes, depending on how many hours you dedicate to that.
Little bitch.
I think that went out. We're back.
Now
Vixx just
I'm
turned into all of us.
Yeah,
Okay.
now I'm all of you. Switch scenes.
That's
back.
good.
All right, yeah, so 13 on my Arcana, so I think that's like just a standard.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so then it's like 3 hours.
Wait,
Or
13.
Yeah.
Time spent plus advantage on your next training roll. And did you have advantage on this from your last one?
Oh, you know what? I did. 16.
That actually bumps you up to the other one. So, plus a bonus hour per 2 hours spent. So if you spend 2 hours or more.
And it was how many hours still till we were 6 hours ish or
Five or
okay, so then an hour to clean up and stuff, and then yeah, so 4 hours.
Okay.
So that's 6 total. Write that in my notes, though I'm not doing a good job of keeping track of this. Okay.
Rowdy's just here to get the first soul night. Oh, I'm gonna love putting together the 4 videos that this stream is gonna be.
Hey, it could be more.
We'll say that. David.
That's all we mad at David now.
I love being a heel. Bring it on.
Studying, Leif just chilling. What did Raelynn end up doing again? Sorry.
She wrote in her journal everything he told her. Then she went down and gave him her clothes from Head Gareth. So it's the blue and white outfit that he has.
I think when you do that, he takes them from you. He was kind of just sitting up, kind of not. It didn't seem like he was trying to go to sleep, really. When you come down there, he's just kind of looking out the window as the train is passing. And when you hand him the clothing, he goes, "Oh, thank you. I didn't really expect you to do that." It's very pointed about the you.
I don't want you drawing attention to my group.
Of course. Guess I should make sure these fit. And I think he goes over to where the little table area was next to the couch. And with just unceremoniously, even though you're still there, he starts he disrobes his top half. And it's like a robe, so it's tied at the waist, so it doesn't go all the way down. But he is just starting to change and see if they actually do fit him. And
Can we let's see if he has any markings or any tattoos or any defining things on his body?
Give me a perception check to check out this man's body.
I'm gonna rage do that.
You notice as he moves, because he has long hair, as he moves that hair aside, you do see half of a tattoo on the back of his neck, very similar to what was seen upstairs. Beyond that, his back is so marked up by scars, and they're long lash scars in relatively the same spot down his back, going from one shoulder to down to his waist. Some of them look a little bit newer than others. Some of them look very old. And he has a tattoo on his right arm, near, facing the back. And it looks like kanji. You probably would be at least somewhat familiar with this calligraphy style script in Drados. And it's very small. Can't really make out what it says. And I think as you're standing there, he looks over at you and he's about to say thanks. He goes, "Thank," and then he kind of just laughs. Well, and he picks up the pants and turns around and faces.
She'll turn and give him space.
He faces you and he goes, you do hear the rustling as he is changing into these other clothing, and he goes, "You could have just asked."
Asked what?
Are you actually gonna pretend like you weren't looking?
I'm just trying to decipher what's on your arm. It's familiar, I just don't know.
It's my family name.
What's your family name?
He looks over at her. What's yours?
Rook.
You note there's a long pause between his answer, and he goes, Zorus. And you can hear that there's not sincerity in his voice when he answers. You can look now.
She'll like turn around.
He's folding up this robe in his arms.
Do you need this, or should we throw them out the window as well?
I would like to keep it. I'll try to be discreet about it, though.
Fair.
Unless you have something I can wrap it in.
I don't think I do.
That's okay.
I have a sack on my horse. I can give it to you when we get off the train.
I understand your hostility earlier. What with the attacking you in the middle of your sleep, but thank you for coming around.
Thank you for giving me a reason to do so. I'm Amelia, by the way.
I'm sure you are. He gives you a warm smile. Have a good night, Amelia.
Oh, I'm not sleeping. But if you want sleep, I'll leave you.
Well, if you don't mind some company, that tea that your friend had looked very good.
Oh, she's asleep now, but I can try my best. I'm used to making coffee, not tea, but I can try.
He will take whatever you offer him, and if it is awful, he will be so polite about it, and if it is delicious, he will let you know.
I feel like she's used to making these kinds of things for Garrick, so it's not the worst.
Serviceable.
Yeah.
I think you notice while you're making it, though, that he seems to watch your technique, and there's a little bit of a smirk on his mouth at a certain point.
Don't shame me.
Yeah, he's totally de-shaming you right now. But he kind of explains to you throughout the night that he's used to being up all night and doing his work during the night and sleeping during the day. So he does just spend that time in your company if you have things that you want to do. He literally doesn't have any belongings with him, so he's just kind of awkwardly sitting around.
She'll see if he plays Dragon chess because it's her favorite game and no one has played with her, and like she's looking for someone to play with if he knows that. Shut up, I knew I said chest.
Some dragon heart chest.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tells you, oh, well, I do know how to play. I always lose at it, though, so don't expect any. All right. I would like you to roll.
This is where I lose.
For this. It would be, you have proficiency in this, right?
Yes.
Okay. So roll. I could let this be an intelligence or sleight of hand roll. Whatever you think Raelynn would do to try to win.
It's the same, so we'll just do sleight of hand because it has proficiency in it.
Sleight of hand. What does he put around here? Perfect.
Yay.
You kind of like breeze through about 3 games with him and you wreck him every single time. But it definitely seems like it's more about the distraction than anything for him that he's enjoying, and he keeps asking to like, let's play again, with no intent of winning. The rest of you, you do a pretty, actually, anyone who was on cleanup crew, please make a sleight of hand check for me. And this can be out in the open. I just want to see how well you guys actually cover your tracks. This will be a group average. Thanks, Alina.
I'm gonna use my inspiration.
It's not a
Perfectly
bad.
serviceable.
Yeah.
Yep.
Between Leif and Vael and the very middle of the line roll, I think you guys do a pretty decent job and feel confident about it before the last bit of daylight outside, or the last bit of night outside, starts to turn to daylight. And in the distance, on the right, because you're kind of like coming around at a bit of an arc, on the right side of the train, out the window, you can see very tall structures in the distance. As the first bit of sunlight starts to poke over the horizon and Nyra wakes up, you see that there are just very pristine white tall towers coming off of the coast of southern Savorin, and they are catching the light. You can tell from here that these buildings must be sort of like embellished by gold and metallic adornments just from this distance. You probably all also note that there is like a sort of shimmering barrier similar to what you saw back in Malinfort, but instead of doming over it, it's almost like in place of having walls surrounding it, not covering the entire thing, there is some arcane protection over this city. And you also see out the other side of the window the other train tracks going south. Like you guys are coming kind of, it's like these 2 tracks are now converging somewhere. It is morning. You start to hear just a very faint sound of people moving about below deck, people getting ready to... This is kind of the last stop before heading back in the opposite direction, so everyone who's currently on it is likely getting off.
I'll get up early to get ready for the breakfast.
You start to pull in to the outskirts of Iriath at about like 5:45 in the morning. You see that this whole place looks completely manufactured. All of the buildings are very clean cut. There's trims of gold and silver on every single building here. It looks like they've invested a lot of resources into this place. You're seeing a very large amount of military people as well. And that doesn't get any better as you near this very large grand station that's up on a sort of like plateau overlooking both of the train tracks. Looks like it's about 4 stories tall, and it is pretty much bordering off this whole area, which is massive. Like you're seeing easily 500 people just outside the window, and you can tell that there's more that you can't see coming and going. Half of them seem to be military troops, and those military troops seem to be gathering at the plateau that is going north, but to Zardan. The train starts to come to a slow. What are you guys doing as it's slowing down and before you have to go to your meeting? Are you guys taking things in? Are you guys gathering your stuff? What is the kind of atmosphere here?
I think Leif is watching the city go by, taking in as much as he can.
Everyone else?
Feed Chinook, get my stuff together, be ready to head to the meeting. I want everything like packed and ready to go before we head down to meet with her.
And probably discussing, going over the names we were mentioned again, like kind of refreshing, like this is the list of yes, no, this is, like a plan of attack for parties.
Mm-hmm.
Nyra and Raelynn, what are you guys focused on today?
Raelynn would have packed up early, and then she's looking for more beacon locations to write in her journal.
After Nyra does her morning prayer, she while Raylan's packing up in the room, because she was waiting for Zeke to not be around, she will tell Raelynn about her dream.
Oh. That's wonderful.
It hurt a lot, but it felt so worth it.
I don't doubt it. Being able to talk to your god.
Your siblings are hurting so much.
We'll make it right.
I hope so. I really do.
She'll put a hand on her shoulder just to console her a little, just make her comfortable. You're strong. You're stronger. We'll make it work. I have total faith in you.
Leif and Raelynn. Leif, roll me. Do you think you'd be going perception or investigation? What are you trying to be technical about it or just noticing stuff?
I think he was just trying to notice stuff. I think he's going to go for perception.
Raelynn, you're specifically looking for beacons. I would say investigation probably for that.
The tower one assumed?
Yes. I also need a perception check from Raelynn, though.
Okay. That'll be not stealthy. Not... Okay, we'll do investigation first. And then perception.
Leif, just with the things that you guys have been told to look out for, things like wanting to know where these forgebound are coming from and being manufactured, you have certain things that are kind of like on your mind. And the fact that you know that you're probably going to be going to some fancy party again at some point. As you're passing along the outskirts of the city, you notice that it seems like the eastern side of the city, the buildings seem to be more, they're like made out of glass and they're less rigid in design and architecture. It looks like it's kind of like you're looking at a bunch of penthouses. So it kind of feels more residential, but like bougie. And then as you're heading through, you seem to notice that a lot of the congregation of like foot traffic goes right towards the heart of the city, which seems far to you. Like you can't see the other side of the city. You're seeing a little bit of the center of the city here and there. And you're seeing plumes of like smoke from like wood burning in the distance. And you also see that very familiar black, thick smoke that Alina had pointed out as doing with Arcane before. Raelynn, you are so distracted this morning with everything that happened and being tired that you don't take note of any beacons aside from the one that is very obviously at the center of this train station, which is one of the large ones. Which is a little bit odd because you've mostly seen them centralized in the middle of a town or in a more military heavy focus of town. As much as you see all these military people here, it doesn't look like they're specifically guarding the beacon. They're all moving about with purpose. And what especially distracts you as you are rolling into the station, and it takes a long time before you actually come to a full stop, you see two figures very quickly as you pass by them. One of them dressed in complete white gold trim, but you can see blue and red, like a collar poking out from underneath this getup that they're under. You see their hair is long and sort of almost like dreads all down the side. And more noticeable to you, a halfling next to her, also dark skin, curly hair poking out from underneath her head. And you notice that you guys lock eyes for a second as you see your old roommate from the sisterhood pass by you very quickly. And since it's past our break time, we'll take our break there and come back with this breakfast meeting and probably an internal panic from Raelynn, maybe. But yeah, get your snacks and drinks and we'll be back in a few. Hello and welcome back, everybody. Yeah, so we are finally stopping in the capital city of Saborin, which is where our young nobles were initially sent to gather information that would help in the war back home. This whole thing started because Saborin had gone quiet and it was very difficult to see what it was that they were up to. And our young nobles have now finally arrived here in the capital with more than just gathering intel on their plate, as they are now trying to get into a party to hopefully influence the upcoming vote that is happening in 2 days now. Yeah, so Raelynn, you get this glimpse of familiar faces outside the window. One of them seems to have clocked you on the way. Doesn't look like they're concerned at all, or surprised even, really. But it's so quick that perhaps they just didn't have time to register. It's another 5 minutes or so before the train comes to a full stop. Everyone else is able to get all of their stuff ready to go. Zeke is he kind of disappeared into the bathroom for a little bit, and then when he comes out, you can see that his eyes are like lined with charcoal, and he has his hair done up differently. He kind of had it in a half updo. It's all fully up and pulled back now, and in like a little blue ribbon tying it in place. Has his robe, he turned it like inside out so it was less noticeable, and tied the sash that he was wearing that seemed to be magical around it. And yeah, soon you find yourselves able to, like, you guys are kind of gathered now in the second floor, getting ready to head downstairs. Is there anything that needs to happen before that?
Not for me.
Right. Vael and Alina, you head towards the dining car for your breakfast date.
Yes.
Yep.
The others, you are all able to get off of the train at this point. It's pretty much just like it's here at the station for the next 2 hours before they close up again and do their recharging. So it's up to you if you stick around and get some breakfast nearby them, or if you head out.
I can get something
leaving
nearby.
this station.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You head off to the dining car for your breakfast, and Brienne is already there with her bodyguard, who's standing nearby, very stoically, not paying any mind to anyone except for her and anyone who goes near her. But he doesn't seem to be bothered by the approach of Vael and Alina. You guys kind of settle in, and she's already got like half a glass of wine that she's gone through, which it couldn't have taken her long to drink that because the dining car opened like 5 minutes ago.
Respect.
She's seated there. Morning, you two.
Good morning.
I hope you slept well.
I couldn't have slept better.
Right. Well, I was able to make a call this morning on your behalf, and there is one opportunity I think is worthwhile for you, at least if tomorrow evening is not too short notice.
Not at all.
Perfect. Well, if you go into the upper city, it's going to be quite a walk depending on where you're staying, though you guys do look well to do, so maybe you are staying in the upper city. Just past the Slumbering Titan Hotel, you'll find a very tall penthouse. It belongs to a friend of mine, and they are very graciously throwing a party in my honor, in hopes to rub the right shoulders, just as I hope you'll be able to do. And most importantly, I do suspect that Matthew will be showing up to this party. So if you could get in his ear about it, about all your ideas, I would very much appreciate that. What do we say?
Sounds fantastic. I'm sure we can persuade him to hear reason.
Perfect. My friend's name is Bartholomew. He's not really political, but in political circles, if you catch my drift. He has enough coin to have people flocking to him for whenever they need funding for things.
Yes.
She's going to kind of dig into, she's wearing this like very fine, deep royal purple cloak, and she kind of digs into her pocket and she slips out a single envelope and slides it over to you, and you see that it has a crest that is a very similar color purple to what she's wearing. You also see that her nails are done very well with this purple color, and there is a crest in the middle that has like this sort of jagged rocky crag coming out of the water. This should get you and your people in. She slides it over to Vale. I hope you don't mind, dear. I know that you were the one who kind of orchestrated this whole thing, but if he's someone that you work for, I figured it would make more sense.
Oh, I understand.
Vale takes it and tucks it away. I don't even know how to express my gratitude for this, other than to say we're going to make sure the right outcome happens.
That would be more than enough for me. Of course, I know that it's not all on you, and I could have done more work leading up to all of this than the last minute scurry. I suppose I had more faith in my people, and when the outcome of where I'm sitting right now, currently, was made known to me, I was a little bit shocked.
Well, these are dark times, and despite all you've done for Endelos, the opposition is rallying.
I have a very busy day ahead of me, but I would also love it if you have time while you're in the city. If you could stop by my own personal residence. You'll find me on the eastern side of the city. Are you familiar with the capital at all?
I've been a number of times, but a city this size always feels a little bit daunting.
And always changing. There's always something new to discover. I can understand that. Well, I have an entire block that I own. It's not too difficult to find. You just, a lot of the nobles come to stay in that area, and I've made it a summer home of mine. So if you would like to visit me, well, actually, perhaps I'll find you. I wouldn't want you getting into trouble.
Yes, trouble is the last thing that our group is looking for.
We are lying.
Would it be polite to send word to you once we have secured our lodgings for the city?
Oh, that would be good. Don't have a whole lot of ways for you to communicate directly with me. So I suppose if I do get back home, I will actually have some place that I can get a hold of you once I get settled into my home, but I don't want to bother you in the middle of something. Do you think I should wait for this evening, perhaps, to send word?
I think that would be fine with us. Of course, we also have the option of reaching out directly to you.
Oh. Interesting. Well, that saves me the trouble. She seems a little bit confused by that and then goes, all right, well, was there anything else that you need? Or is that enough to go on?
That gives us more than enough to start with. If we think of anything, we'll be sure to let you know at your residence.
Perfect. She's going to do a little bit of a wave to the waitress. And she's going to like hold up 3 fingers. And what happens is she gets brought over 3 bottles of wine that you guys did not see available on any of the menus when you were ordering stuff. And she goes, this one's my favorite. And she's like, payment for the earlier drink. And she's going to kind of just put them in your bag and walk quickly off the train.
You know, if you weren't my favorite before, you most certainly are now.
Another great service for the people.
You can hear like the most muffled, like as if this guy that's standing next to her, like he's trying not to laugh. But yeah. You guys are able to get some food. You know, 3 bottles of really expensive wine. You are able to go and get your animals in the cars further back as well. By the time you really like get there, half of that car is empty. It wasn't full to begin with, but it's like there's maybe another person that needs to come in and pick up theirs. And yeah, you find yourselves in what you will come to know as the lower districts. And now that you're standing here on this platform outside of the train, you can see that there's sort of like a tier level to this whole city around you, like almost like a staircase in elevation. It's a little bit difficult to make out at first because of the fact that there's so many tall buildings in each section. But one from where you guys are standing on this plateau stands out as actually somewhat familiar to you guys. This is probably one of the few pieces about Savorin that you guys know. Is this very tall spire that towers over even all of the other tall buildings at the very heart of this city. You can tell even from here that it's a little bit different in architecture because it has a darker stonework to it. It's probably been worn over time. It's like the first building that they ever built in this side of Savorin when they started making Iriath the capital of this, what was a province and is now considered a state to them. But the Spire of Vaelthar, and now that you know more about all of these different families, and you heard the term Bayark Rael as well, you're kind of gathering now that the Vayas probably have a lot to do with even the architecture here, going way back. Very tall spiral at the very top of it. A little bit reminiscent of the Sunspire Citadel in that there is some sort of flame burning at the top of it, but definitely not as grand. It's just almost like a very tall lighthouse here on this coastal city. You would probably gather that if it was ever intended to be a lighthouse, it probably isn't anymore with how much they've built out around it. But there is just intricate ivory stonework just kind of sprawled out from this train. You can see some cathedrals off in the distance. You can see these older buildings with stained glass windows that are shorter than all the taller buildings. You can see colorful canopies as well to the south of you, as if there's some sort of marketplace nearby, but you can't quite see everything. And you see all of these soldiers who were walking around here. They are now gathering up at this plateau to board the train that looks like it's going in a different direction, which you would guess is going towards Zardan. And you, just at a glance, probably 200 troops. Where is your first instinct to go?
Well, we were given the name of an inn, and if we're here to mix and mingle, I think we should try to get into the upper city.
It is going to be pricey, but I agree.
I'd also like to keep an eye out for a spiral archive branch along the way. I want to spend as much time there as possible. A lot of questions and very little answers.
As we're leaving the train, like before we start going into town and stuff, Raelynn will get the sack for Zeke that she promised him, and she'll confirm with him that they're going to meet up in 2-3 days, whatever he decides, sort of thing, and pick a location kind of that she can see a landmark, just to make sure that they're on the same page about that.
I think when you start to suggest like meeting up somewhere specific, and it seems like you're picking a location, he's going to point over to it's like west of this platform. You can see kind of like older darker stone buildings that are much lower. He goes, I'll probably be getting a room over there. There's a okay inn, I guess, that I could pull up in. That's called the Blooming Vine. I'll probably keep myself a little bit busy and on the move so that nobody can track me, but we'll be in touch either way.
Do you have money?
I have ways of getting money.
Okay. We'll keep in touch.
Be careful.
She like looks at him like suspiciously, like, why are you being nice to me? I get it, but also this is weird. And then she'll return the favor and be like, you as well.
He's going to, before you get to walk away, he kind of like taps where the marking was that you inquired about on his shoulder. And he goes, Iriath. And he'll start walking in like the opposite direction of where he gets off. Yeah, you guys can make checks for things that you guys are trying to look out for. Perception checks in the tower from Alina for the spiral archive that you're looking for.
Nyra's gonna try and look out for those cathedrals.
Okay.
She's hoping
Sorry.
to find something.
That in the tower. Vael is looking for anyone who looks like they probably are carrying a lot of coin and dumb enough to keep it on their belt. I meant to do that in the tower, though. I apologize.
And Nyra is there anything you're trying to note specifically about the cathedrals as you look?
She's trying to see, like, if these are old, are they from, like, before? Or are these witch gods? And just how active they might be.
Alrighty. Is anyone else looking for anything specific as you guys come?
Raelynn would have pulled Alina to the side and told her that she saw Skylar and Kemi, and she's looking for them. See if she
Here?
can see. Yes.
I mean, I guess I should be
think
that
so.
surprised, but
But with Skylar, my old roommate. That
That's
I wasn't
unexpected.
expecting.
And did Skylar leave when Raelynn left, or did she also stay on as an advanced sister? Yeah.
Trying to figure out if that's information that you would know. As far as you're aware, you guys graduated and she left.
So I'm going to look around and see if I can see them in a crowd or what direction they went to.
Perception check. Oh, damn.
I didn't expect it to be good.
Leif, did you want to keep your previous check for when you were trying to get the lay of the city, or did you want to roll something new?
I'll make another one. Going on foot this time, I'll be able to get a little bit of a better look at things.
Speaking of going on foot, I assume we gathered our horses as well.
Yeah, Raelynn did that for you guys probably while she went in. All right. Order of operations here. Raelynn's immediately looking for these figures she saw. Yeah, it was like 5 minutes ago before you guys even stopped that you saw them, and they didn't seem to leave or move or anything when they noticed, or when Skylar noticed you. And as you're looking down, trying to see in the direction that you saw them in, you do note what seems to be two figures, maybe like really far, like over 300 feet away from you at this moment. Maybe nothing to Leif, but a little bit to you, especially with all of these people kind of in between you moving, and you're kind of keeping an eye on them as you watch them leave. They're going away from you and into the city, like they weren't intending to catch a train here. Whatever it is they're doing, they're done here now, and they are going south into the city, and it looks like they're going towards where all those cathedrals were to the right, the east side of the city, or west side, sorry. And yeah, that's up to you. If you do have opportunity to like tail them, but they do have quite a bit of a lead on you.
She'll tell Alina and let Alina decide what she wants to do, because she only really saw them. She doesn't have much in it right now.
We have time. Our soiree is not until tomorrow evening.
Oh, you got us one. Perfect.
We did. That's why we were planning on heading up to the upper city. The venue is next to this inn. Do we think it's worth a confrontation on the street?
I don't know if we could even get to them on time, to be honest.
Could always cast sending.
Okay.
Once we're settled.
At least you know they're here.
Do they know we're here?
If you send sending, they will.
Mm-hmm.
You can meet up with them, hopefully.
I'd love to get some answers if she'd even meet.
Okay, let's go on.
Vael, you notice that there is a very ridiculously, to you at least, dressed man. Stout, big beard just kind of enveloping the lower half of his face. A tall woman just droning on in his ear that he doesn't seem to be listening. A bunch of luggage next to him. You definitely spot that he has a coin pouch, just like right underneath his robe, kind of like it's kind of like tucked in there a little bit. But it's affixed to nothing too secure. A belt.
I think what he'll do is he'll pull up the hood of his cloak and just kind of step away from the party. Just kind of, does that whole blending into the crowd thing. Kind of separates from the group enough that no one would guess they're together. And as he's doing that with the hood down, he will change shape into a very beautiful, very busty half-elven woman. And then he will take the hood back, the cloak back behind his shoulders. And he will try to sort of distract this man with his breasts and bump into him and steal his coin purse.
Roll either a stealth or a sleight of hand for doing all of this, like changing and you can do it with advantage since that's kind of innate ability of yours.
Yeah, they're both the same, so it's.
I think you're pretty confident that you were slick about when you were changing which parts of you, and that you had your robes loose enough at the time that having breasts suddenly isn't too noticeable. And I think as this woman's just like droning on in his ear and he's like not paying too much attention, I think your chest comes at just like eye level with him, that it perks him up a little bit. You can see his face light up as you like kind of block his vision for a moment.
Vael in this form kind of looks to be distracted by one of the nearby buildings and doesn't notice that she walks her chest directly into his face.
He just goes, oh my, miss.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't paying attention. It's entirely my fault. And she's putting her hands on his chest and like trying to pat him apologetically. And as she does, one hand goes down and.
Give me another sleight of hand or performance, either one. Unless they're the same.
We'll use my inspiration because that's not good. That's much better.
Much better. His face is beet red, and the woman's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And she's like directing her attention to this man, like, "Yeah, are you all right?" And he goes, "Yes, I'm fine." And when you're like taking off this this coin pouch from his belt, he's like busy dealing with both of you, and he holds up a hand to her and holds up a hand to Vael, and like doesn't intentionally do it, but definitely accidentally cops a feel, and then immediately pulls away his hand, and it's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, miss."
No, entirely my fault. I'm so very
Did
sorry.
did you just feel her up? the
Oh, I
woman
don't
is
think so, but I don't want to get into the middle of anything. I'm so sorry again. And she just very like daintily runs off. Um, and then as soon as Vale can kind of slip into another thick group of people kind of thing, he just very quickly pulls everything up and shifts back to his Vaelthar form. After which, once he reveals once again, he actually goes, "Oh, it's pretty hot out," and just take his cloak off, roll it up, and shove it in his bag.
I will say that what you do notice is this small little demon dog of a like almost Chihuahua Pomeranian looking thing that's on the shoulder of this woman who has very tall hair with elaborate like adornments on it, is just like staring straight at you as you're shifting the whole time. Like you kind of walk away feeling like maybe you traumatized this little already traumatized dog just from being alive.
Yeah, he gives the dog a wink, knowing full well it doesn't understand the context.
It winks back. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? But then he'll just very casually walk up back to where he was in the group, as he rejoins the rest of them walking through the city.
All right, the next one, Nyra, you guys go within a pretty good distance of these cathedrals. And they do look like they're old, and maybe you see elements on the stained glass that ping as familiar to you, but can you roll a religion check for me?
I can try. In the tower?
This could be out in the open.
I will use my inspiration. This is when we use them all up, guys. Come on.
Yes. Use them all up, and then I'll attack you as Kemi in an alleyway.
Right, I force you to make saving throws with most of my things. It's fine.
You note at least there's a familiarity in these, like the stained glass motifs that you're seeing on these cathedrals, but they are very old, as if they haven't been cared for properly, which is not something you would kind of associate with something that's currently being in use for the intended purpose. But you know a lot of blue on one of them, and very specifically the different coloring of blue that you noticed in Ashendar at the temple there, the one dedicated to Kalis. And a lot of the shapes, just from a distance, you're seeing like a lot of kind of weaving, flowing shapes on the windows, as if they're to represent waves. But what you note from here is that there's like newer signage on the outside that you can't make out from this distance, as if it's not being used for that anymore, but that building is still in use. Further back behind that, taller, lighter, like sort of not sandstone like back home, but like sort of like a limestone, like lighter stone, and a smaller temple. You notice very tall, thin, like as if it's trying to go up, which you note is like a thing that people who believe in Ishrel tend to do. So they try to build up towards the sun. And you do note it looks like some half-hidden sun symbols on the outside, like kind of carved into the pattern of the stonework. And they're kind of covered up a bit by banners that now from here you can see look like maybe a shop of some kind, like a general goods store.
Oof. Okay.
Leif, as you guys leave this area and you get more into the actual city itself, you notice there is, very similar to Mournhold, where there is like trees that look like they've been brought here and take a lot to maintain, kind of lining, like partitioning the centers of the roads. And you note a heavy presence of mages going in a particular direction. And as you follow that line of direction, you note a building that looks about, it kind of looks castle-y, like almost like the Saveth estate, but darker, more like gothic looking. And it's about 3 floors high and has banners that are blue and maroon. And you can see groups of mages hanging out around outside of it. And this seems to be like maybe 2 blocks away from the station that you guys just left. At least 2 blocks south, but then to your left about maybe 10 blocks. You're just kind of watching. It's almost like college town vibes, where it's like all these students kind of hanging out. And all of you notice that a lot of the buildings here have forgebound that don't have that sheen of what you guys were thinking might be Tempest iron. This one is a little bit on the darker side. They look almost like they're more sturdy and clunky, whereas the other ones were kind of like high tech and sleek. You could probably piece together the fact that Tempest iron is very difficult to get a hand on. And these forgebound, they tower over Leif by like 5 feet probably as they pass by you. You spot about 10 of them in just the walk from the train to a few blocks into the city proper. It's going to take a little bit before we get to Alina's thing. Is there anything that you guys want to do with all of this information that you've noticed, or are you guys kind of just gathering and then you're going to talk about it once you have more privacy?
That's kind of what I was thinking would happen.
Yeah.
All right. You finally get to a part
I think
of
on the way, I'd like to slowly, like one person at a time, tell who Raelynn saw, and maybe ask Raelynn to also share. So if they run into us, everyone else is not surprised.
Yeah. Raelynn mentioned the blue and the maroon that she saw too.
And say that once we have a place, I'm going to try to message.
You go up into this second terrace of this city where all of the buildings start to, you see runes being swiped to gain access to a building. You see like elevators on the outside that are encased in glass going up the side to higher floors. You note that a lot of the structures here are they have a lot of foot traffic going in and out as if they're public places. You find yourself passing by what looks like perhaps like a city hall sort of thing. Lots of government officials, long lines of people waiting at a counter. You see that a lot of this area is lit by this similar arcane lamps that you found in Mournhold. And in this area, you also note a heavy presence of people walking by, coughing, hunched over. You note that there's like guards kind of moving people like off away from like some of the more public upscale places. Like, all right, moving them along so
Does
that they
it
don't
look
linger
like
around there.
residents of this part, or kind of like the sick or like the riffraff that are being like shooed away from the nicer buildings?
A mix.
Does it look like there's some sort of healer or something they're trying to gain access to? Like, I don't want to say like a hospital, but like something adjacent. I guess we kind of saw one in Mournhold.
Yeah, there was definitely a hospital. In this part of town, it doesn't look specifically like what you saw in Mournhold. You did roll really well, though. I'll say that you do see a more heavy foot traffic and congregation of people going off towards like the center of the city, kind of nearish where that spire that you guys saw is. And here it seems like people are bringing in paperwork to get done. It seems like sick people are being accompanied by perhaps their children or something as they stand in line. And you note some of the people, like the riffraff that you said, who are kind of like being shunned into the sort of alleyways. The clothing that they are wearing looks like it was once very nice clothing. And you can see some of them on their hands, like as if they're tan lines, like as if they'd been wearing rings for a very long time. No longer there. It just looks very like down on their luck sort of people now. And as you guys get closer and closer towards where you were directed towards this Slumbering Titan, you can actually see it in the distance. At least you would put together that perhaps that's what that is, because there's a very tall building with it's like a humanoid figure, but their facial features are very ambiguous. Kind of like you've all seen Vael now in his real form, and his features got a lot softer. Right, that's correct, Shanks, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're seeing very similar like vagueness to the features of this very large humanoid figure who's kind of like wrapped around the top of one side of a building and resting on it like this, like completely made of stone and marble work. And as you guys head that way, I think, Alina, you catch out of the corner of your eye a very similarly designed building to the one that you saw in Mournhold, but maybe twice as wide at the base. About the same height. This spiral building going up, and then that sort of spiral motif at the top. And now that you see this again, it very much is reminiscent to what you saw in your dream. Like you already knew that it was kind of an homage to Iriath because that's who they look up to here. But just the like circular shape of it and looking up at it the way you are from down here, you just kind of get this strange, unsettled feeling as you notice this chapter of the spiral archive in the distance. Did you want to press on there, or are we heading to get settled into an inn for the night?
Let's put our stuff in a room because it's early, right?
Yes.
Let's go ahead and get checked in if we can, and then we can go do things. Everyone.
Do we have any sort of notion how far away this inn is from the archive?
Within what, like a couple of blocks?
You would guess that you'd be able to see from each building to the other one. Yeah. Okay. So you guys continue on towards this inn. And you are passing a lot of these like sort of double-decker wagons again. It's not as packed here as it was in Mournhold. It's a lot more spread out and streamlined in the way that they're directing traffic instead of everyone being all over the road going whatever direction they want. A lot more organized and structured. And you see a forgebound every 3 blocks or so, you'd guess. They are everywhere here. And by the time you get to the Slumbering Titan, you note that at the very base of it, there seems to be like a sort of valet situation happening as people are getting dropped off in their wagons and the wagons being carted off by this gnomish person decked out in this all white, very form-fitting outfit that has black trim. His black hair is just kind of wiry and crazy. He's a little bit on the older side, and his hair is going like back and wiry, and then his beard is coming down and forward, very wiry. You can see that he has kind of like sunspots from age. And he seems to be greeting guests, and then they get taken care of by one of the stable hands. And as you guys approach the front of the building, he notices that your intent, it's like very difficult to not notice that you're coming up because there's like a sort of arched driveway coming up towards the front door. And he looks over at you and he goes, welcome in, checking in?
Yes.
Perfect. Would you like me to take your lovely beast?
I'm gonna kind of shoot a glance to Raelynn and as if like, is she gonna be okay with this?
She has to be. Like, to not blow their cover.
Of course.
All right then. First time staying here?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll take very good care of your animals. I am Bilkin, and I will do pretty much whatever you need. If you see me running around, you can call my name, and I will scurry on over as quickly as I can. But everyone here at the Slumbering Titan is here to serve you, and all of our guests will walk away from here feeling so rested. That is our guarantee. And I think he does like a very deep bow, and he just like gestures towards the doorway as two gnomish girl and a human boy kind of take your horses and Lily off to the side, and the gnomish girl looks at Chinook and goes, "Do we get to take him too?"
No, unfortunately, he goes where I go.
But he looks like he wants to come play. She's just like, and she has black hair that's as wiry as this man, and she's wearing it in like pigtails, and it's not a flattering look. It's like Pippi Longstocking-esque, and that it kind of sticks out. And she goes, but if right, guests, of course.
I tell you what, if you're around when I take him out for a walk, perhaps I'll let you throw a stick for him.
And then what?
Then he'll bring it back to you.
She looks over at Chinook. You can do that? Wow. She looks over at the boy who is doing his job. He's taken your horses. He's like 10 feet away now. Okay, what time?
Well, usually we're out about in the day, but at least one in the evening and one first thing in the morning.
I'll be here in the morning. I'm always here in the morning. I love the mornings. I'll see you then. And she's not talking to Bill. She's talking to Chinook. And she's like, I'm going to find the best stick as she walks away. And she goes, Darren, this dog, it likes sticks. And she like runs off after him.
I see you made a new friend.
And he just like tippy-tappy.
Good boy.
You hear a little bit of a sigh from the older gnome, but he immediately has to tend to more guests that are pulling up at the Slumbering Titan. And you guys are able to enter in. It is fucking a fancy place. Everything is pristine. You're like, you will leave tracks and prints on anything you touch. It almost feels like you shouldn't be touching anything in here. Very plush couches in this waiting room and or this foyer, and very beautiful, intricate chandeliers hanging down from the ceiling. Again, it seems mostly run by gnomish people, and they all have black, wiry hair and look somewhat similar to the guy that greeted you outside. And they're like ranged from age 10 to like, it's, if you had to guess in human terms, maybe 30. You are greeted at the desk by this this young man who has his hair tied back, but it's all frizzy and doesn't really stay very sleek in his ponytail. He goes, well, welcome in. Names? Are you guys checking in? Or I'm sorry, have you been here already? And he seems a little bit flustered.
We've not.
All right. How many rooms are we looking for? It is 10 gold a night. We can get you up on the 8th floor, it seems like.
Three rooms?
We can do that.
Oh,
Perfect.
perfect. All together in the same area?
Could one of the rooms be at least a couple of rooms separate from the others?
A suite?
I get to roll higher for learning hours, okay?
Would you like it on a different floor altogether?
Yes, that'd be wonderful.
Perfect. You guys get a key for a room on the 9th floor that's given to Alina, who requested a separate room, and the other 2 are on the 8th floor. And you guys are able to get checked in. You guys give them your the fake names that you're using.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we'll probably request 2 nights because I figure after the party we can if we want to stay, we can move to cheaper digs.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Though before, as we're leaving the desk to head to rooms, Vael will linger behind a little bit and lean across the counter and he goes, "It's not directly above any of the other rooms, is it?"
You kind of see him stifle a snicker. And he goes, "No, I kind of got the not so subtle hint when the request was made."
I appreciate that. Please apologize to whoever's below our room. And it'll catch up with everyone else.
Do you see him make a note of that behind the counter? Yeah, you guys are set up in some very very nice rooms. They have a common space in the middle and 2 bedrooms, each with king size beds in each bedroom, a private bath for each room, and there's a lot of the similar, just because I know it's going to be asked, there's a lot of similar runes going on in this in these rooms as well to activate lights and the water. There's a little, this one's more obvious than the last one you stayed in. There's a little kind of stone plaque near the door that seems to be to call for any extra towels or food or anything else you need replaced in your room. And you guys notice that there is where the light fixture is, there's a fan system in this room.
Fancy.
Yeah, I know, so high tech.
That was bad.
I think before we split, I would have very quietly reminded everyone that I would like to try to cast Sending to Kemi. And then I would like to spend some time at the Spiral Archive if everyone wants to meet in our room in 20-ish minutes.
Perfect.
30. Get a chance to settle and clean off.
Okay. The runes here, are they... In Beldram's Gate, they had a little extra something.
Mm-hmm.
They were different than the ones in Mournhold. Are these...
These also have a very uniform but different than the other 2 cities. This one is more I guess what I would describe it as is a teardrop shape, kind of outlining a lot of the runes, even going through some of them. Could be a teardrop or a flame. Either one you would kind of associate with that shape. All right, is there anything that we need to do before you guys head off to the location that will cause me to end for the week?
Couple things. First of all, who's paying for the rooms? Just because I don't want to end up double paying. So I do have coin on me to cover whatever is needed, but
I'm okay paying for a room for myself. I figure that's what Raelynn will do. And then
Also Vael.
Well, we got 3 rooms, right?
Mhm.
Am I splitting with you then?
Yeah, if you
I
want.
assume I'm staying room, so I'll take 10 gold for 1 night.
Leif, you got what you need for your room?
Got it covered.
And Dreamy, is it you or me paying?
I'll pay for this.
Okay.
That might change because Vael, if you look in that coin pouch that you stole.
Yeah,
from-
I did actually. I wanted to. Sorry, I meant to say earlier, but you were narrating things and then didn't really see opportunity. On the way there, he would have, after he was sure that he wasn't being followed or anything, he would check what's in it and like empty its contents into his own belongings and toss the bag in case someone were to try to scry on it.
All right. You found 25 platinum pieces inside of that, as well as 30 silver.
Oh, damn. Okay. So it's
And that guy's going to
Yeah.
be having a very awful time, and he notices that.
no kidding.
He deserved it. He copped a feel.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, Dreamy, do you want me to cover it or?
Just for the next thing, we split up group loot, so.
Yeah.
All right. Apart from the housekeeping of your loot, is there anything you guys want to talk about before you split off?
Could I go ahead and send the message?
Sure. Are you doing that privately?
I'll wait till everyone comes to the room so I can immediately say whatever response I get.
Okay.
If anyone needed to do anything in their separate rooms before they all met up with us.
I just, before we go up to the rooms, wanted to see if, you know how, I don't know in this world, but in hotel lobbies, they usually have a TV that, has, local things to see. Is there anything with Queen Vea on it? Another announcement like we saw at the train? Just to see how she's hyping up this whole vote for the capital? Anything to do with that?
In the lobby?
Yeah, kind of the
And-
lobby. If not, I'll keep an eye out when we go out.
Yeah, you for sure do find something like that in the lobby, not in the main area, but there's more to this building. So if you kind of just take a glance around while everyone's getting settled into their rooms, there is there's a bar, and then there's also a sort of a lounge area, and that's where you see up against the wall a similar sort of cycle of these sorts of slides. But this one has additional ones to it. There is mention of some sort of quarantine protocol going on in the, what the hell did I call this area of the city? In the Monumental Boulevard district, which is, you gather, is in the middle terrace of, which is where you guys currently are, but this place is huge, so you're not quite sure if you're in the Monumental district or not. It seems to be, the language is very vague about what exactly is going on, but it's kind of just referred to anyone having the symptoms of cough, feeling faint, weak, tired, all of these symptoms being listed out, that they should be directed towards the hospice in the Arcane Boulevard. Other stuff seems to just be
Just to clarify, hospice and not hospital?
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you the other stuff just seems to be local, local headlines from recent from the recent week, things reports on crime, which seems to be a lot lately, petty theft, muggings,
Now slightly more.
yeah, Vail's not helping. with the crime rate here. Nothing that seems too severe, but some sort of direction to just kind of watch your belongings, especially directed towards the guests who are staying here.
I have no doubt that we will make those crimes more severe.
You
I
guys
encourage it.
are gonna clean up here, fund the whole thing. Yeah, and then eventually you guys gather upstairs, and Alina, what is it that you're sending?
Okay. This is what I'm going to say. It's 25 words exactly. It's 23 days till Svet. Give me the gift of meeting. Bring Skylar with you. Would love to get to chat. Don't say no, please.
Takes a moment. How could I say no to such a kind request? You have much keener eyes than Mother Ona ever saw in you. Look forward to it. Where?
Let me pull up my spells real quick. We got a long rest, those of us that went back to sleep after that fight? Or no?
Nope.
Okay. Last 3rd level spell. Here we go. The Spiral Archive. 3 p.m. We'll see you there. And I'm not going to fill it with 20 more words of filler.
Sounds good. Ask for my name at the front desk. I'll show you to my office. And I think that's where we're going to end for the week.
Fantastic cliffhanger.
That was good.